Oh, hello and welcome. Welcome everyone. Welcome to our info session offered to you today by the National Consortium of Legal Masters Programs. It's a pleasure to see you all here. We are going to wait 1 or 2 minutes to see if other students are joining the presentation. And then I will introduce you to the speakers that we have today, and we will begin our info session on what is a legal master's degree. So in the meantime, let me share my screen so you can start checking our beautiful presentation, and we will begin everything very soon. In the meantime, let me tell you a few things. During the presentation, please keep your microphone muted. Feel free to turn the camera on if you want. That's absolutely fine. And if you check at the bottom of the screen, or most likely at the top, depending on which system you're using, you will see that there is a chat button. So if you click the chat button, you will be able to ask questions during the presentation. Our law school representatives will be here, so they will be able to answer the questions. If those questions are general questions, we're going to be able to help you. If these questions are very specific to one of our law schools, then I would suggest that you wait until the end of the presentation when you will be able to join each and every one of us in one of our breakout rooms. So in the meantime, just to make sure that the chat room works, can you please click the button and just type the city where you're connecting from so we can see who our audience is. Just type the city and you can just type it here. You can type here. So you should see now the message pop. Fresno. I see Daniela from Fresno. Welcome, Daniela. Welcome to our info session. Let's see if someone else is going to Portland, a wonderful city. Thank you so much, Amanda, Stacy, Sabrina, Olivia, Allegra, Alec. Very good. So welcome, everyone. So let's begin our presentation. Here we are. Perfect. And someone gives me thumbs up if you see the screen, full screen. All good? Perfect. So again, we are here today coming to you from our National Consortium of Legal Master Programs. The info session for today is going to focus on providing you more information on the legal master degree, which is called by some school MLS, some other schools MSL, but you will see it's the same program. These are the wonderful presenters that we have here today. And what we're going to do now is we're going to give a brief introduction of each and every one of us, and we will then begin the presentation. So first, it's me. My name is Aaron Ghirardelli. I am the Senior Assistant Dean for Graduate Admissions at LMU Loyola Law School in Los Angeles. Then we have our next colleague.
Hi, I'm Tess Jacobson. I'm the Assistant Director for the Environmental Law Program at Lewis and Clark Law School that is located in Portland, Oregon. It's nice to meet you all.
Hello, everyone. I'm Michelle Latoile, and I'm the Director of Admissions at Boston University School of Law, which, of course, is in the city of Boston, Massachusetts.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kerry McInerney. I'm with the Cumberland School of Law of Samford University in Birmingham, Alabama, where I serve as Director of our graduate and international programs.
Hello, everyone. I'm Susan Steffen. I am the director of our Master of Legal Studies program at the University of Cincinnati College of Law in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Very good. All wonderful speakers, amazing institutions. So this presentation hopefully will be very helpful to you. What you see here on the screen now is the agenda for the day. So the presentation will take slightly less than an hour. Hopefully it's going to be engaging, interesting to all of you. We will cover all the topics that you see here on this slide, one after the other. And then we're going to go into a Q&A session. The Q&A session will be offered through breakout rooms. That means that each and every one of the law schools here today will have their own Zoom room. We will randomly assign you to one of the schools, and then, of course, you will be able to jump from one school to the other. Our recommendation is to come visit each and every one of us, ask us questions on our program, and, of course, any specific question that you may have. So let's begin the presentation. The very first topic is on basically introducing you all to the MLS program. So what is an MLS? And for this section of the presentation, I will leave the floor to my colleague, Susan Steffen.
Thank you so much, Erin, and welcome everyone. I'm very excited to get us started with our initial information about a legal master's program and trying to figure out what exactly is a legal master's program. So I'm just going to be the one giving you an overview of the programs in general, and then my colleagues are going to get into some of the details a little more specifically as far as some of the general topics that I'm going to be discussing. So the first thing I do want to put out there is, as Erin said at the beginning, some schools are calling a legal master's program a Master of Legal Studies. It's MLS, MSL, Master of Studies in Law, a Master of, all sorts of different, MJur, Master of Jurisprudence, a Master of Arts in Law, Master of Science in Law. All of these are names that are given to the various programs out there, but really these are the same programs. These are, or at least very similar. These legal master's programs mostly have a very similar goal of preparing students with a working knowledge of the law and maybe the law and regulations as they apply to their profession. Many students are interested in the law, learning more about the law, but not wanting to go through law school, get their Juris Doctor degree and practice law. And this is really generally a practically oriented program that will help you and understand everything that is helpful in your working life. So generally, these degrees are designed really to provide you with new skills that can be helpful in your existing career, as opposed to preparing you for a whole new career. And again, as I mentioned in the first line, the program goals will absolutely vary among the different programs. Just like the names, they all might be a little bit different. So typically, again, we have students who are working professionals. Some programs require some amount of work experience, some do not. Some are focused on actually different professions, and some are a little more general. But in some, they are all geared towards helping working professionals understand the way that the laws and regulations apply to their particular field. Just as the program names and goals can vary, there are a lot of little details that also are going to be important for you to consider when you're looking at a program. So they are going to be maybe the program length, the format of the program, and the actual curriculum. So as I mentioned, the goals are going to vary, and all of these other details will too. So as far as the length of the program, I would say generally they are going to run from 18 months to 2 years. It's often a part-time opportunity because we get a lot of working professionals who are interested in obtaining these degrees while they are still working full-time and maybe doing a lot of other things, taking care of a family and everything else that we have going on in life. So most of the programs are sensitive to that and are trying to keep a manageable pace. So again, 18 months to 2 years is pretty common, probably an average of 30 credits. Some are 24, maybe some are 36. 30, I think, is probably the average number of credits that you would take. Format-wise, the programs can be 100% on campus, in person, live. They can be 100% online, maybe with a live component. Maybe everyone logs on like we're doing here and has some discussions, maybe some lectures will happen that way. Some programs are 100% asynchronous online, which means there aren't times when everyone is required to get together. There are opportunities to do the coursework that are available through learning management systems such as Canvas or Blackboard, and faculty are certainly available to work with students, but that is something that provides a little more flexibility for some with not having to be at a particular place at a particular time. And some, of course, are a hybrid opportunity, some combination of those. So the length, the format, and finally the curriculum are things that you'll want to consider when you're looking into these programs. Some programs have separate courses designed specifically for legal master's students. And again, some are more detailed in particular industries, some are more general. Some programs will have master's students go into JD programs with law students, some JD classes with law students. and be able to pick and choose among those opportunities. And again, some are offering a combination. So when you're looking into these programs, and I hope we have a great chance to talk a little bit more in depth with you all tonight, but you'll just want to really research each school's program to see what best meets your needs and your interests in all of these areas. So hopefully that was a little bit of an overview, and I will turn it over for you to learn more details.
Very good, excellent. And as my colleague Susan said, there are different formats for all these programs. So now we're going to go a little bit more in details, trying to understand the difference between an in-person versus an online MLS or MSL. And our colleague Tess Jacobsen from Lewis and Clark is here for you today to cover this topic.
Thank you. So first, before I get into the details between the two programs, some things like kind of keep in mind when you're thinking about whether you want to do an in-person or an online program is if you want to relocate or if you want to stay in your home city. If you want to stay in your home city, is there a college or university, law school there that offers the program you're interested in? How do you learn best? Some students really thrive on that asynchronous or Zoom learning, whereas some students really need that in-person component. Do you need flexibility between your program? So again, with that online, the asynchronous learning sometimes offers more flexibility for working professionals or people who have family obligations. And then as Susan mentioned too, there's sometimes a hybrid option where maybe you can do a little bit of both, get the best of both worlds and, experience both options. And again, not every school is going to offer both online and in person. Some schools it's exclusive to only online. Some schools it's exclusive to in person. So make sure you check with each school that you're interested in. Next slide, please, Erin. So some of the things to maybe consider when you're looking at the online versus in-person programs. One thing is the variety of classes offered. So with online learning, sometimes there's limited classes because those are recorded or because they're Zoom classes and not all classes can go to that format. So you might have more options for classes in person. There might be opportunities to go between different programs or something. Again, check with each school, it varies. With the in-person, typically you will complete the program a little bit faster. For many students, it takes 3 semesters or as few as 2 semesters if you're doing it full time, versus an online might take a little bit more time to complete because you're balancing all of those other responsibilities as well. In-person tends to offer a little bit more interaction with students and professors because you're there, every day interacting with them. You're able to attend office hours with the professors. You're able to go knock on doors if someone isn't responding to emails, things like that. So you get a little bit more of that in-person interaction. You can usually join student or organizations, things like that as well. So you're able to, create some of those bonds with those students, which isn't to say that that's not available in online programs. There's definitely, I think we all, really strive to make our online students feel just as much a part of our community as our in-person students. So, there's still opportunities for online students. Most professors are very engaging with online students. They're responding to emails. A lot of times they'll set up, even in asynchronous classes, they'll set up Zoom, meetings. They'll set up, we call them little happy hours or, office hours, open Zoom office hours. Are you able to talk with the professors and the fellow students, things like that. So you still have those options with the online program as well. Online could be more cost effective, again, because you don't have those relocation costs. Each school might be different on its tuition versus online versus in-person. Some in-person programs might have additional costs like required health insurance or, campus fees, something like that. So again, that's something to balance and consider when you're looking at both programs and which one might be more optional for you or more preferred. But I think that is what I wanted to cover with the in-person and online programs. And I'm happy to answer any questions, that come up about these two programs too.
Excellent, very good. Thank you so much. And just as a reminder, feel free to type any question that you have in the chat room. If those questions are general questions, we will address those questions right away. If there are specific questions, we will invite you to come visit us later after the presentation in our breakout rooms. So my colleague Tess was focusing on giving you the idea of a different format in terms of online on one side and in person on the other side. There is also another difference, another type of format, which is basically whether you want to do what we call a general MLS or a specialized MLS. So let me tell you a little bit more. These are basically two different flavors of the same program. A general MLS or MSL, it is usually fully customizable. So that means that except to one or two courses that might be mandatory for all students in the program, students are usually able to choose any other course that they want from the very extensive curriculum that each and every one of our institutions offers. So that's the best option, the general LLM, if students want to really explore different fields of law. So for example, and that's a perfect choice for students who have multiple interests. For example, you might come to one of our institutions for an MLS degree and cover topics like business association and contracts because you want to maybe focus on business law. But then maybe you also want to focus on criminal law, or you want to focus on some of the cutting edge fields like data privacy, technology law, intellectual property. So that's the perfect choice for students who want to come to law school for an MLS degree as a way to truly explore as much as possible different fields of law. The general MLS is also the perfect choice for students who have a specific interest in a specific topic, but the institution that they chose don't have a full specialization. So what they can basically do, they can build their own specialization. And one thing to consider, though, is when you see fully customizable, build your specialization, the important thing to consider is that you will never be alone. So you will not do these kind of things all by yourself, but each and every one of our institutions will support you during the entire process. So we will be here to help you, we will be here to advise you, and we will be here to basically make sure that the course of study that you create will be the perfect choice for you and will be what will allow you to achieve your professional and academic goals. So that's the general MLS, full freedom. You can do whatever you want. Or the other choice is specialization. So specialization means that you will come to our institution to follow a curriculum that has been designed by our professors to maximize your knowledge in a specific field of law. So that's perfect for students who really want to focus 100% of their experience in law school on one single topic, whether this topic is business law, whether it's entertainment law, intellectual property, and so on, and many, many of the specializations that all of us here today are offering to our students. Specializing in one field is the perfect choice if that's what you want to do, if that's your strong interest, but it's also the best opportunity for you if you truly want to use not only the master's degree, the MLS, but also the specialization as a way to properly market yourself. So as a way to, for example, get a different job, a better job, and so on. So these will allow you to show your expertise on your resume. Some of us give you what we call a specialization. Some of us may give you what we call a certificate in a particular field. So make sure to come visit us later in our breakout rooms. But that's kind of the difference. So again, the general MLS, if you really want to explore different fields, or the specialized, if you're really focused on becoming an expert in one single field. And now let's continue our presentation. So we're going to now offer you a sample curriculum. And my colleague, Kerry McInerney, will take the floor now.
Thank you, Aaron. So everyone, now that you've learned a little bit about what an MLS or an MSL is, how they differ whether online or in person, and as Aaron just explained, the differences between generalized and specialized, you may be thinking, okay, what kind of courses might I actually be taking? So what I've got for you here is a sample curriculum from one of our concentrations for our what we call MSL degree at Cumberland School of Law at Samford. And as you heard at the outset from Susan, and I think as you've heard since then, these courses and this sample curriculum will vary from institution to institution. So keep that in mind. So Aaron just indicated that you have the opportunity for a general or specialized. What I have for you here is an example of one of our specialized concentrations. I want to walk you through it so that you understand sort of the kinds of courses that you might take and what they might look like. For us, we have 4 courses that everyone takes when they start. Each, as you'll see, is listed on the screen. Each has 3 credit hours, with the exception of the last one, the capstone, which is the final project, what you might think of as a master's thesis, which for us can be a research paper or it can be a project. I like to give our students a bit of artistic rein to what I ask them to do, find a real world problem that matters for them in their life, come up with a solution, and then build their project around it. If it's in a paper, great. If it's a new compliance model, great. And so we have all sorts of amazing projects as a consequence that come through our capstone, and I'm leading it right now, and it's one of my favorite things within our program. So we have as our core courses sort of what is law school light, to give you a feel and sort of a foundation of basic legal principles, since folks in the MSL or MLS program have not been to law school and may have had some pre-law courses or some exposure to legal concepts and terminology. But this gives everyone sort of a fundamental foundation for the law, legal procedure, and principles that will apply to their coursework going forward, as well as a career, if not in the law, in terms of law adjacent. Okay, and then on the next slide, you'll see the courses that we would have for this specialized concentration, which is our health, law, and compliance degree. Each of our currently four concentrations all have 6 concentration specific courses. These are the 6 courses for our health, law, and compliance concentration. As you'll see, they all have 3 credit hours, and when you add them all together, ours is a 34 credit hour degree. We'll talk more at the end in general about our program, but this gives you an idea of the kinds of courses you might take at Cumberland if you took a specialized MSL program for health, law, and compliance. Then, to Aaron's point from the prior section, if you wanted to engage in a general or a custom degree, you would pick and choose among, for us, these 6 concentration specific courses from all of the degree concentrations that we offer, to mix and match to create what would be a customized degree tailored specifically for you. Now, again, this is just a sample curriculum of the kind of courses that we offer in our program. As you've heard already, the credit hours ranges from institution to institution, from 30 to 36, somewhere in there. Ours is 34. And the courses that you might take will differ. Some don't have any required core courses at all. Some have 1 or 2. We have 4. But this gives you a feel for the kinds of courses that you take and what you might be learning. And I hope that's helpful.
Very good. That's very helpful. And I have to say that this presentation to me is becoming more and more interesting, and I might go back in time and do an MLS degree myself at this point. So let's continue the presentation. And this is also a part where I will focus on a few things with you all, financing the MLS or MSL degree. At this point, hopefully during the presentation, we have been spending half an hour with all of you now. You now have some basic information on what the MLS is, all the differences between online, in-person, general, specialized. You've seen now a sample of curriculum that will somehow help you think about what it means to be an MLS student. And so now you are almost ready to start your application. And of course, one of the points that you might consider is price, right? So how much this experience will cost me? And how do I raise the money that I need, or how do I cover the cost of this program? So the secret is to create a plan. What I've been suggesting students in general is to think about two different stages: before you apply and after you are hopefully being admitted to one of our wonderful programs. So before you apply, I usually tell students, make sure to have a clear understanding of the cost of attendance. So don't try to hide this the price of the program too much. Just go for it, get a clear understanding, and then start planning for it. So check the total cost of attendance. The total cost of attendance, generally speaking, means the tuition fee that you will pay to our institutions. If you are one of our international students, of course, you will then have to factor in the cost of living in order to get a proper visa to come to the US. And when I say cost of attendance, also check and see whether the school that you would like to attend is charging for the program a flat fee, whether they are charging per unit. So all schools might have different ways of charging the tuition. So get a clear understanding. How much will the sticker price be, basically? How much is the tuition cost? How much is the cost of living? And then start checking the scholarship program from the institution that you're planning to apply to. Do they offer a scholarship? How much is the scholarship? Do you need to do anything to be considered for scholarship? For example, will all the applicants be considered for scholarship, or do you have to submit a separate application for scholarship? So try to get all the information that you need before you apply. And then also my suggestion is don't stop there. So don't think that the scholarship that you receive from your home institution will be the only scholarship that you can get. There are so many scholarship programs out there. Some of us may have pages where we list all these opportunities, but they keep on changing, they keep on being created. So my suggestion in general is to just go online and search on Google and start creating a plan for those programs as well. So start listing the scholarship programs that might apply to you, and then start setting on, for example, on an Excel file, start adding the specific application deadlines for these scholarships. Many of these programs usually have early application deadline, so it is very important for you to start your application and start approaching the idea of joining an MLS program with a clear plan, a total understanding of the cost for the program, and then again, a total understanding on the program for scholarship from the law school you're planning to apply and from all the other institutions. Then, once, hopefully, let's cross our fingers, but once you are admitted to the program, then it's time to be more practical. It's really time to start thinking, okay, what am I going to do? How will I cover the cost of this incredible degree? Which, by the way, I would consider as an investment in your career, in your professional life. So first of all, ask the school whether they have any payment plan. The vast majority of us might charge tuition in 2 installments, basically 50% of tuition at the very beginning of the program, and then the remaining 50% of tuition at the beginning of your second semester. But there might be schools that have also payment plans, like monthly payment plans, schools that might have different formats. So understand, once you get admission, ask to talk to the student account office or talk to someone in the school that is in charge of providing information on tuition and payment, and get all the information that you can. Also, get a clear idea on the tuition payment timeline. As I said before, even if the school doesn't offer a monthly payment, for example, for the tuition, that's fine. The important point now is to understand when you will have to pay the tuition and how much, how, and so on. Also, if you are a US citizen or permanent resident, just remember, FAFSA, I mean, financial aid from the federal government is usually applicable. So usually most of us will allow you to apply for FAFSA, which will give you the opportunity to cover the total cost of tuition plus living expenses through the wonderful federal loan program offered by the US government. If you're not a US citizen or a permanent resident, so if you are either an international student who is currently living in another country, planning to come to the US for the MLS degree, or if you are, for example, an international student who is already living in the US, but you currently don't have a US citizenship or permanent residency status, don't worry, there are opportunities for you as well. The ones that I would like to underline are these two companies that you see here on the screen. Those are the companies that many international students are using nowadays to fund their master degree programs in the US. One of these companies is called Empower, the other one is called Prodigy. Disclaimer, these companies are not vetted by any one of our institutions. This is just information that we're sharing with you because we think it's helpful, but make sure to check their plans, make sure to check their interest rate and so on. Also, if you are an international student who is already in the US, you might be able to access private loans from private banks, so not the federal loan program, but these private loans will require you to have what is called a co-signer. So you have to have either a family member or someone close to you in the US willing to co-sign the loan agreement. So this is basically all the options that you have. And again, the major suggestion is just to create a plan on one side, and on the second side, to never feel discouraged about the price of these programs. They might seem a little bit expensive, but they are an incredible investment on your future success. So if you're planning to improve yourself, if you're planning to improve your career, to improve your options, this is by far the best investment that you can do. So we're continuing our presentation now, and it's time to apply, right? So you know what the MLS is, you know how to deal with its cost, and now it's truly time to start working on your application. And so my colleague, Michelle Etoile from Boston University School of Law, will share with you some more information about that.
Thank you, Aaron. So there are two main ways that we accept applications for most of our institutions. One of them is through LSAC. LSAC is the Law School Admissions Council, and they actually originally were established to administer the LSAT exam for law schools, but most of the US law schools use LSAC to host their applications online. So it's very convenient to apply through LSAC. You would create an account with them and then send all of your application documents to LSAC, and then they will distribute them to each of the schools that you're applying to. I'm not sure if I think all of our institutions here will accept LSAC applications, or maybe not. So you do want to check on if that is a viable option for you. The other way that you can apply is through direct applications, where you're applying directly to the school, either through a school-specific portal that they have that you fill out the application and send your documents that way, or it could even be by email that you send your documents to them that way. The application materials that usually you need to present would be the application form, where you would provide your personal information, biographical address, and so on. And then your transcripts. And this is a really important part and can take a little bit of time depending on how many schools you went to and if you went to school in the US or outside of the US. But we'll need to have official transcripts from your school, from all the schools that you applied to, most likely, or at least the qualifying degree, which I believe is a bachelor's degree for all of our programs. And when you submit the application, you may be able to provide unofficial copies of those transcripts to begin with for admissions purposes. But if you enroll, you're going to have official copies from your institutions that you provide to the school that you're enrolling in. So for some people, that's an easy process. And for others, it can take months depending on how easy it is to get those transcripts from your institution. The statement of interest or personal statement or essay can take various forms in terms of the topic that we ask you to speak about. It could be a very specific question that you need to address, or it could be kind of a general question of why are you interested in this program, why are you applying to this school. You do want to make sure you take your time with this, have somebody read the statement to make sure that all the grammar is correct, that you have written in a very clear way, and that, and perhaps even a little bit of your personality comes through a little bit. We want to get to know you a little bit. And so, write in a way that is professional, but yet can still reflect a little bit about who you are and what you would be adding to our classroom. Those statements can vary in length too, but I think generally they're 1 to 2 pages for most places that we're looking to see from you. We really want to know your professional background, and so the resume is very helpful. These programs, many you could come directly from a bachelor's degree program, but I think a lot of our applicants have been working for a few years before applying to the school, and so looking to see what you've done in your professional career can be very helpful to make sure this is the right program for you. But even if you're coming right from your undergraduate degree, it may be a great fit for you as well. So please look at each of our websites and understand the kind of student that we're looking for. Plus, you're going to meet with us afterwards in the different breakout sessions. So if you have any questions about whether this is a good program for you, you have us right here to speak with later on. The letters of recommendation, it can vary. Perhaps we need 1 or 2 or 3. Each institution is going to be a little bit different, but we're going to look for you to have someone who can evaluate you and provide an assessment of your abilities. So if you're coming right from your undergraduate program, that could be a professor. If you've been out a little while, it could be an employer, a supervisor, or something like that. And lastly, if you attended school outside of the US and a non-English speaking country, you may be required to submit some English language proficiency tests. And the most popular ones are the TOEFL exam or the IELTS exam. And you'll need to check with each institution to see if they prefer one or the other, accept both, or if they accept any others like Duolingo or the Pearson or Cambridge English Advanced. So there's some different ones. So you'll want to check with each program to see what they accept. Thank you. Hope to see you all apply to our schools.
Very good. So this concludes our presentation. What we're going to do now is we're going to spend a few minutes, each one of us, to introduce our programs. So we will share some details about the program for all the different law schools. So we will start with University of Cincinnati.
Thank you so much. So at the University of Cincinnati, our program is 100% asynchronous online, and that's the only one we offer currently. It is a Master of Legal Studies, and it is a general Master of Legal Studies, or MLS, although our focus is on business compliance. So in addition to some of the core general classes with an overview of the law and legal communications and research and such, we focus on business law, compliance, risk management, privacy and cybersecurity law, and employment law, anything that would be helpful in the work environment and is particularly related to compliance. We do get students from all different industries and areas. Some are actually compliance officers or want to be. Some are just maybe in HR or in the healthcare field and really interested in an overview on the work environment. So our focus is on business compliance. Our program is also 5 semesters, 18 months of part-time. We have 2 back-to-back 7-week courses each semester. We do one class at a time because we find that sometimes students like to manage just one topic at once when they've got all that other stuff going on. So that is generally the program. We do have flexibility, of course, if someone wants to take a semester off. We also have starts in the fall and spring and summer. So you always jump in with the first same 2 courses each term, and then and take the rest of them as they come. So it's we're trying to make it as convenient as possible to go with any schedule that is out there. For the summer, we have our application deadline is April 15th, and the start is in mid-May. And we have a summer term, and then again fall and spring, and just keep going on through for 5 semesters for the most part. So that is the University of Cincinnati, and that is some of the details of how our program might be different from the others.
Very good. And let's go to Boston University.
Hello again, everyone. At Boston University, we offer a master in the study of tax law. and it is best for people who are interested in learning more about the tax law and policy, but who don't have a law degree. And so we see people who have wealth managers or accountants, or someone like that who's doing estate planning even sometimes. Those are the kinds of the students that we see coming into our program. It can be offered asynchronously online, and so you can watch at your convenience, or you can come on campus and study as well. It's only 24 credits, which is 12 credits per semester if you go full-time. If you were to go part-time, you have up to 8 semesters or 4 years to complete the program. And we have scholarships available for our on-campus study only. You don't have to apply separately for those scholarships. You just automatically be considered when you submit your application. We have starts in the fall and spring for in-person, and in the summer for the would only be the online and part-time only. But you can start online in the fall and spring as well. Our deadline for the fall is coming up on April 15 if you're interested for this year. But it's part of our, it aligns really closely with our LLM in tax law, which is for lawyers. And so the students are in the same classroom together, which makes an interesting dynamic because you have the lawyers and the non-lawyers, and they have a different outlook on certain policies and laws. So it's a wonderful program, and I look forward to telling you more about it in the breakout room.
Very good. So let me share a few words on my law school, LMU Loyola Law School. We're based in sunny Los Angeles in Southern California. We offer a boutique MLS experience. The law school is located in downtown Los Angeles, close to major law firms, courts, and it's a campus only for law school. Loyola Law School is part of Loyola Marymount University. The university has 3 different campuses, and the one in downtown is just the law school. So the professors you will see there are law professors. The students are students studying law, whether they are in the JD program, in the MLS program, in the LLM program, and anyone that is coming to visit is either an alumni, a lawyer, a judge, a professional coming back from the MLS, and so on. We offer the MLS fully customizable. So as I said before, that's a perfect choice if you want to explore different fields of law. We offer more than 300 courses every year, so you will not have any problem finding something interesting for you. And you can complete the degree in either 2 to 4 semesters. You can also specialize. We have some amazing specializations, including business law, criminal justice. Loyola is one of the top law schools in criminal justice in the US. Cybersecurity and data privacy. Loyola has been the first law school on the West Coast to offer this program. And entertainment and new media law. Loyola is in the top 10 in the US for entertainment. And of course, if you want to study entertainment, Los Angeles is somehow the perfect place to be. And we very much look forward, I very much look forward to meeting you all in our breakout room session after this presentation. Now let's go to Lewis and Clark.
Hi, y'all. So at Lewis and Clark, we offer 2 concentrations for our Master's in the Study of Law, our MSL. It's both in Environmental, Natural Resources, and Energy Law, or in Animal Law. Both programs can either be completed online, asynchronously, or we have the on-campus options. We also offer flexibility between those options. So a lot of students may choose to spend 1 semester on campus, get that experience, take some classes that might not be offered online, and then opt to complete the rest of the courses in the online program. You can complete it in as little as 1 year, or you have up to 4 years to complete it. And then again, we're pretty flexible with students who may have to take a leave of absence or something like that as well. We understand that those things happen. We have a summer, fall, and spring start dates. So you have the option of starting at any point during the year. Our priority application deadline is March 15th. MSL students at Lewis and Clark are in JD classes. So, you know, as my colleague from Boston University was saying, it's a very interesting dynamic. We have MSL students, we have JD students, and we have LLM students in the same classroom, and they all bring different perspectives, different knowledge, different experiences, and it creates a really, really fun experience. We offer scholarships, so that is a separate application. So you just have to let us know that you want to apply for a scholarship, and we will offer that. We do charge a per credit rate, so it's not a tuition for the full semester, so you can take as little as one class. For our online program, we offer a guaranteed 3 to 4 classes every semester, different classes that you can choose from. And then our in-person program, you have the option of choosing from our entire, pretty much almost our entire JD curriculum as well. So it really opens the doors, as we were one of the first schools to have a top environmental law program, and we were the first school to have an animal law program. So we really have a robust curriculum in those 2 areas. MSL students can also participate in externships. We offer a couple legal practicums that they can participate in as well. So you can, on campus, you can get that experience. And then if you are an online student, we'll help you find externships online or, in your area, or remote externships that you can fulfill those credits as well. And the last thing I'll say is that there is some overlap between environmental and animal law, as you might expect. So we do offer credits that can be transferred between both programs. So if you're in the environmental law MLS, but you really want to take an animal law class, you can take up to 8 credits in one of the other specializations and apply that to your MSL degree. But yeah, thanks. I look forward to seeing you all in the breakout rooms.
Very good. And now we're going to go to Stanford University.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Before I talk about our program, I want to echo something that Erin said that I know all of my colleagues in this presentation agree with. Erin said that this degree is an investment in your future. I can't agree with that any stronger. Quick testimonial from one of our students, working mother, single working mother. Her husband had recently passed, was kind of at the end of a rope, enrolled in our program, looking to try to set herself apart, try to get something kickstarted in her life. She was a year into our program, updated her LinkedIn page, her profile on LinkedIn, and a local bank, it's actually PNC, was looking for a compliance specialist, a compliance officer, saw her profile, reached out to her, hired her. She got a $40,000 raise over what she was doing, and hadn't even graduated, specifically because she was in the program. And that's not unique to our program. I'm sure we all have success stories from our students. I want to share that with you as we wrap up. As you're thinking about whether to pursue this degree, let me encourage you to make that investment. So, Samford, Cumberland School of Law. Although Cumberland, as you see our beautiful campus behind me and on the screen, although our JD program is ranked number 4 in the United States for trial advocacy, our master's program, also highly ranked, focuses, like Susan and the University of Cincinnati, on regulatory compliance. You saw in the sample curriculum the courses in our health law and compliance. As you'll see on the screen, we also have financial services regulatory compliance, higher education law and compliance, legal operations, which some places you'll see referred to as legal project management. And although they're not on here because we're rolling them out this year, like Loyola, we're rolling out a degree in cybersecurity and data privacy, as well as sports law and compliance. So we have 2 degrees. We offer the LLM for students who already have their law, their JD degree, as well as our MSL. Our program is also entirely online, 100% online and asynchronous. Again, asynchronous meaning no live classes. You do the work each week as is convenient on your schedule. That said, our LLM students and our MSL students sit virtually alongside each other in the courses, which is also fun, as Tess said, where you have those unique life experiences in education and work stories to share in all the many networking and discussion forum opportunities within the classes. Our program also can be completed in as few as 5 semesters. We also have 1 class for 7 weeks in each term, followed by another class for 7 weeks. But as is true, I think, with most of us, some of our students need a break, and although you can complete it in 24 months, 5 semesters, you can also take up to 7 years to complete it. We're excited to have you here. I hope we've answered some of your questions and provided you with information that can help you make this decision. And I look forward to seeing you in the breakout room.
Wonderful. So this concludes our presentation. What's going to happen now is the following. We will open the breakout rooms for each and every one of our law schools, and we will randomly assign each and every one of you to one of these rooms. So in the next few seconds, you will find yourself in a different room with one of us. So feel free to ask us any question that you have. And of course, feel free to jump around. So you can leave that breakout